Okay guys, I want to show you a new feature just launched for irrigated growers. Start at the field level. Of course, all this is the same, but now when you scroll down to the bottom, you have this edit irrigation data under your virtual rain gauge. If you click on that, it's going to pull up a list of all of the rain events. So even if you're not irrigated, this is a pretty neat place to see all of the particular rain events. Like January 11th, we got a 0.64 inch rain here. And what we've done is we actually built what we call our human behavior modeling, where we actually estimate when and how much you irrigated on a particular field. So the setup is right here. If you are irrigated, you've already got fields in and you want to turn on this feature, you go to Edit Field. This is going to provide you, hey, we're getting a good rain shower here. If you want to do that, you can change your projected weather forecast to make sure you've got your irrigated forecast in your future. And then right here it's going to ask you a question about days per inch irrigated. So this is saying how many days to put down 1 inch. You can put 7 right here. If you leave it 0, it's a non-irrigated field. If you put this in at the beginning of the year and say we're going to take 7 days to put down 1 inch, or maybe you're going to take 2 weeks to put down 1 inch, or maybe you could do it in 3.5 days. You could change this value at the field level. Obviously there's a lot of things that go into deciding what that number is, but go ahead and set that up at the beginning of the year, and this is for estimation purposes anyway. So go ahead and click Save here, and that'll update your preferences. And then what it's going to do during the growing season is it's going to say, okay, we're going to take our weather forecast and we're going to say what's our chance of rain, what's our rain in the last week, how wet is the soil, how moist relative to the field capacity, and we're going to either irrigate that amount that you put in there on your rate per day, or we're going to maintain a holding position, or we're going to say nope, he's shutting it off. So the end result of that to my irrigation data here is that we're going to trigger rain or irrigation events applied through the growing season. So we haven't triggered any yet because we haven't planted this field, but when that does happen, it's going to drop in values here. So you're going to have your historical rain events, and then you're going to have your irrigated rain for your total water in the far right column. If you disagree with that, and obviously we're trying to estimate when you've done things. If we get grossly wrong, or you know you're doing something really kind of odd compared to maybe normal practices in the area, we wanted to make it really easy to edit. And on a day-by-day basis, you could just go in here and type and say, well, we put down 0.15 inches. You can leave that, or you can change that and say, no, we didn't run the pivot on January where I typed that in. Or you could say, you know what, I normally run 1 inch in the 7-day period, but we really cranked it up, and for that period during July 10th, for a 2-week stretch, 14 days, rather than my normal 0.143 inches per day, let's say we doubled that, and for 14 days we put down a lot more water. I'm going to hit Add, and so again it reverts to your default there. Scroll down. The green bar is the day you planted, so if you change your planting date on your main worksheet, this will show you, so it kind of gives you a reference point of where you're at in the season. But then you can see here, we're going to say, hey, we're putting down extra rain or extra irrigated events, so we have our forecast weather and our irrigated weather for our total water applied per day to that field. Obviously we're irrigating on top of a forecasted irrigation event, so it's probably not likely. So if you want to change those, you can change them one by one, or you can go back here, type a negative 0.28 for that 14-day period, add that, and it's basically July. Yeah, we wiped it all out. I scrolled right by it. So July 10th, we wiped those all back to 0. So We'll probably tweak and change this to make that just a little bit smoother, but wanted to make sure that we were getting a good, simple interface for you irrigated guys to be able to get in there and change your rain events. We're also excited for opportunities to stream some data from your flow meter, controls, whatever it is you got out in the field, to automate some of this data uptake for each one of your fields. But again, playing lots of what-if scenarios, this would be a quick way to make the change and reduce the time spent entering in each irrigation event. So looking forward to your feedback on that, guys, and we'll look forward to seeing you again in the future. Thanks.